It's race night, baby. Welcome to the Zoom Racing League. We are at Spa-Francorchamps in the Belgium Grand Prix. This is your host, John Ranger. I'm here with Freddie Razzle. Division 3, we're going to have a great race here tonight. It's a legendary circuit of Spa-Francorchamps with a 20-turn circuit. We're going to be having quite a race tonight, and we have really good racing tonight for you guys. Freddie, how about I go over to you and we look over at the standings to begin the stream?
Oh, obviously coming back from Kota, OG winning his home race of the season, obviously a Texas boy himself. OG winning in USA, Marino actually winning in Brazil. So they both actually got their first wins of the season. So maybe someone else could get their first win, someone like Kushi or Barney or Cole, something like that. So it'll be really interesting. I know both Ferraris have a lot of pace in D3, but they've just been getting really unlucky with like just Codemaster issues or like F1 issues, stuff like that. So hopefully they maybe score some decent points.
And not to make it, Brent Hackman and Josh Barnsley have both 21 points, so I'm curious to see how their race is going to pan out and if Team Order is going to be part of the strategy during the race. We got Flosy, Peter, Drip, and Jack, 4 races with no points this race. So let's see if these guys can put on their first points of the season.
Sorry to interrupt. We've got a few reserves coming in, or new drivers actually, I should say. As we have Cooler Peter coming in from Haas, taking the seat from Connor, I think. He didn't actually know how to use manual gear, so he's stepped aside. And then we've got Leave Says covering Kyle Desmond for today. Kyle's got some work issues he's going to have to do the next couple of weeks, so he stepped away as well. Mm-hmm. And we also have Gibbs in the Haas, so both Haas's have actually been taken with 2 new drivers. So this will be quite interesting, actually. As I say, Gibbs, I think he's actually reserving tonight.
As we see, we have Gibbs and we have Cooler Peter in the Haas, so curious to see. Hopefully Haas can get in their first points of the season tonight on this race. Qualifying is already underway. We've got a lot of people out on their outlap. I'm already noticing some overcast weather. Do we have any weather reports?
I'm just actually on board with OJ, and there's like a little bit of drizzle coming along.
Oh yeah.
Quite a bit of rain when you go on his TV pod. So I think whoever the Alpine is ahead of OG has actually got the best chance to go pole here. So it's really quite interesting. But once again, it's only like a second and a bit, so anything could happen.
You could tell right away that there's already rain coming in, so it's now or never to do their lap times. I don't know if the rain's going to subside during the qualifying, but that's going to be interesting for them to get a best last time as they can on the soft tires before the rain gets too much and that they have to go on the intermediates and you don't get enough pace to go on the dry lines. And we're going to see a lot of yellow flags most probably, given the fact that we've got some rain out here. So we're already on board with Nathan Doan. And I think he's the first one ahead, going on to his opening fast lap. I'm going to keep an eye on him for now. Keep on the driver pod here and see if he's able to really keep this car on track and keep on going until the end and see what kind of times we get. And is it going to be raining so much till the end of the track? Because we're talking about a fairly large track here, right? So will the rain eventually slow them down that they will have to switch to intermediates? We're already seeing in Sector 1, looks like a Ferrari who spun out going up Eau Rouge.
That's Big L, bro. That's actually invalidated through Eau Rouge. I think I got it wrong last night. I think it's called Puon or Radion, the corner after Eau Rouge. But I think it was a Zenith and Big L, bro, who both had a bit of a moment through that kind of corner also a Haas, and Enjoy's actually retired. So we go with Cole or the Alpine of Leaf Says maybe.
Yeah.
Yep. Enjoy's actually hitting the wall and he's actually on the track, which is quite dangerous. Anyone can actually hit him right now, so it's quite not the best
right
situation.
Out on track. Absolutely, he's sideways on the track. He's out there. We have another, is that Marino that we just saw have a moment out there? Looks like he spun out as well. And Nathan Doan with a 1:48.4 to begin with on his lap time. So as you mentioned, right, the Alpine that had the advantage of having the first corner on, and that track's looking wet, Freddie. That's definitely looking like they're gonna need to go to intermediate soon. And what am we seeing here? Cooler Peter with a 5 grid place penalty for hitting the drip. Well, that's not a way to want to start off on the Haas.
Yeah, not the best start from Haas. They're going to be both right down the order at the end of the quali because it's into time now. So
Yep.
I wouldn't expect anyone else to get a better time. So whoever hasn't set a lap yet, they're just probably most likely just going to come in, put some inters on, and just maybe get used to it. As I'm actually going to quickly check if there's going to be rain during the race.
Looking through here, we're having a lot of spins out there. What is going on? It looks like there's quite a number of cars. Big Alabro who's blocked off the pits for Gibbs. So even getting in the pits in that little tight corner there was looking to give some issues to some of the drivers out there.
I've got confirmation that OG has actually binned it. I might be wrong, if you want to just double check, but OG's got a little red mark over his name, so it looks like he's out of session. So is it Big Ale and Enjoy, I think it is.
Yeah. Big Alabro got disqualified for blocking off the pits, and OG indeed has been went off the track and around at the Bruxelles turn 10-11. Seems like it's practically undrivable on softs out there. I'm gonna keep an eye. Let's look on over here. Maybe find somebody that's just gotten on the inters, see how their drive is going. We're gonna keep an eye on a little bit on Snoop Francis. We got Marino that's in the pits. I think he's going out of the pits on the inters, going out on his lap. Cooler Peter, Drip, and Keisler all have been switching over to the inters. We don't expect them to have a faster time than 1:48 that Nathan Doan has set.
Yeah, I mean Nathan Doan is a quick driver. Weren't expecting him getting pole, but he did get quite lucky coming out first.
Yeah.
Although OG did come out ahead of him, but I think OG had a little bit of a moment on his quali time. But yeah, OG will be out, and he will be quite disappointed at that because I think that was his chance to get higher in the start of a race, if you get what I mean. But nevertheless, he is P9, most likely going to be further down the order when people put times out on their inters.
Most definitely, and looking at it through it, when you look at OG's time at a 2-minute, definitely know you can find some better pace through that, but obviously it's the rain and the weather that slowed down the pace there for the guys on the soft tires. So curious to see, maybe we're going to find some inters doing some better lap times. Are we looking at sub 2 minutes on the inters, having a decent pace on here? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think inters can actually beat Nathan Doan's time, but I think they could maybe set around the 150s, maybe 152s. So just ahead of Alex, I'd say.
So we've got Snoop Francis, who's just starting his lap time, his fast lap. I think we got Marino right behind him actually. So Marino might get some drafting going up Eau Rouge there. So we're gonna keep an eye on these two. And how is the dirty air gonna affect Marino on this wet weather? And the other question we gotta wonder is actually if during the race, is there gonna be any more rain during the race, or is it gonna be a dry race so far? Curious to know how they're gonna work up their setups. Do you go with a wet weather setup so have a high qualifying and deal with it during the race, or you keep the race set up and handle it during the qualies?
Sorry, but I actually just deafened my mic. Didn't hear what you said for the last minute or two.
Oh, good. I was wondering if there was going to be any weather during the race as well.
Oh, no, there's going to be a little bit of overcast slash cloudy,
Hmm.
but nothing really too important or like strategy wise.
Exactly. So would you go with a wet setup for the qualifying and as much as possible and get higher up in the standings, or are you sticking to your race setup and trying to do your best on the quali?
I'd probably be sticking to my race setup, even if we're going to be using your inters right now. I think these drivers might be a little bit skeptical if the rain does come. So, I mean, it's a bit of a sticky situation for these drivers right now.
We're gonna have our first drivers passing the start-finish line. Stu Francis and Marino right behind him. Marino got a little bit closer to Stu Francis. I'm expecting him to have a better lap time. Gotta watch out there. We have Zenith on the AlphaTauri was practically stopped on the straight line there. Very, very similar times. Actually, a second difference between Marino and Stu Francis. Marino hit a 155.4 and a 156.4 for Stu Francis. Chances are we're going to see OG tumbling down the order, unfortunately, due to that moment he had and crashed out. Doesn't give himself a chance to go on the intermediates, and he's now down to P12.
Yeah, I mean, something to know about OG. He's not the best qualifier, but when it comes to in the race, he can make those positions up, as we saw last week in USA.
Mm-hmm.
And just even like during last season, he was like during just in France last season and different other tracks, he was a menace out there. Like it was quite annoying in a way because he always gets his race strategy right. He always he's quite good with his tyre wear as well. So he's good with, I'd say, the harder technical stuff and the easy stuff, I'd say.
Definitely, having raced with OG myself a couple times, seen him be in Division 2 at the same time as I was, I believe, or replacing in Division 2 back then when I was in D2, and he's definitely the driver, as you mentioned, not the fastest pace, but definitely able to give consecutive laps that will resemble themselves, and great on the strategies and everything. So it's almost a good thing that he's not that much faster, because if he was, he'd definitely be up in Division 1.
Yeah, as I'm actually on board with Marino on a bus stop chicane, and this looks like it's going to be quite a decent time as he has a little bit of a moment.
A little bit of a wheel spin coming out of there, and he's got Zenith right behind him.
Yeah, he actually gained 8 temps on his time, but no positions gained. So I think that's going to be quality over for him. So looks like 154 is maybe probably the maximum time you're going to get with inters, as Drips actually spinned it in the pit lane.
He sure have. He left his bumper out on the pit line. Doesn't look like it. Misjudged maybe the speed he took that turn. Now, we all know there's 5 minutes left of the quali. Nathan Doan most probably will be keeping his fastest lap there at 148. Now, we're seeing Ethan Patel, Technic Speedy here, and Cole Cummins, both Red Bulls coming out of the lap on their out lap. So they're going to try to see if they could have an improvement on their times with the intermediates. Now there's the rain that's probably settled. So if your other drivers like Corrupt, Boberto, Leaf Says, right now they're in the pits on softs. I'm mostly looking at Leaf Says. We've seen intermediates going faster than his time currently with Alex Duarte, so he should be coming out of the pits soon, I would assume, to attempt to get faster lap time with the intermediates. Maybe get P7, possibly P6, although there's 3 seconds to go gain there, so you have to curious to what you're going to do there.
I think that's just the drivers with the inters ahead of him. I think that it's just showing what tyres they're on at the moment. I don't think it is their quality fastest time, because I don't think inters can actually get into the 149s. I don't think that's possible. I mean, I could be wrong, but
not 49, but Marino's got a 154.6. I'm wondering if somebody with faster pace on the intermediates could drop Leaf Says in the standings here.
I was watching Leaf Say's lap with the soft, and it weren't that good, just sliding everywhere. So maybe I mean, he was probably using his dry setup, so it weren't really working around this track. So maybe he just wanted to stick with the softs, and I mean, it's not really been a bad quality for him. Really. I think it's been decent quality, especially coming back straight away from taking a break from F1. Um, I've been told that he did the crossover to controller to wheel like a few seasons ago, and then he just gave up on the game because he didn't like it. But whatever he's on now, it looks like he's actually done quite a decent job. I mean, already he's sticking with quite a few fast drivers. I mean, Marino's already got a win, OG's already had a win, but OG doesn't really count because he ain't really put a proper quality time in yet. But Barney's a quick driver, Karat's a quick driver, Alex is a decent driver when he's at his best. Um, Ethan's a stinker. Cole he's alright. I mean, he gets a job done for you, so he's keeping it with most drivers at the moment.
Keeping tabs here on Gibbs to see what kind of time he's able to pull up on the enters here. Gibbs and Cooler Peter both is currently sitting P13 and P14. Looks like there's also an AlphaTauri that had a moment in Sector 3 there, early Sector 3, so Gibbs is going to hit 154.9, so he's going P10, definitely. Settles down on the top 10. And looks like he's slowing. Oh, he's got a moment there. I think he just tried to... he's going to go for another lap here, but he kind of slowed himself down with a little wheel spin. Keeping an eye on... is that a Ferrari? Kaiser, who doesn't have his time set up already. So he's currently P19. He's about to cross the line, getting out of the chicane. Does it nice and smooth, known for wheel spin over there. And he's going to set a time.
Looks like he's invalidated.
It definitely looks like invalidated. So he's just starting his time now, so he has to get this lap perfectly. There's not a lot of time left in quali. Absolutely needs to nail this one.
Yeah, I mean, not a really good start to the season for Ferraris, as I said at the start of the broadcast. Both of them have. I mean, Brian's not here for today, but Josh and Brian do have really good pace. They just get really unlucky with game issues and that. So, I mean, hopefully they can get the strategy right and not get the game crashed out. So, I mean, Josh is a decent driver. He can definitely be a potential to win. So maybe, to be fair, he might even be doing the last to first challenge round here.
Keep an eye on here on Josh, as you mentioned. Seeing some... Is that an AlphaTauri that had an off moment at Bruxelles? Might be...
It is Drip, and he's retired.
That's Drip that is out of the session there, so he's... retarded. There's only about 40 seconds or so left in the quali, so most drivers here are on their last lap. Sector 2 best... I'm saying purple Sector 2 for Kaiser there, so...
It looks like...
Did he run out of fuel?
Yep, looks like it. It also looks like it's actually now full weather. Full wets, I mean.
Full wets.
As it doesn't look like... I feel like the rain's coming too down quickly. So I don't think Inters are now the way to go. I think it's now full wet. So this will literally be your top 20.
This is going to be it, so... Just have Kushi and the last couple of drivers finishing up their laps here, but... It's definitely getting harder and harder to drive out there. Cole needed to finish his lap, but he's going in the pits. Got Alex Duarte and the Mercedes, who's giving it all the beans as he got. You could tell it's getting really squirrely over there. Very slidey indeed.
Yeah, something to know about Kushi. I mean, he's a bit like OG, not the best quality. Yeah, he doesn't really have the best quality. I mean, but in the race, he can make up positions, and he's done a really fantastic job in the Alfa Romeo for Buffalo Trace's team. So, I mean, if I was Buffalo, I'd be calling Kushi Valtteri Kushi.
There we go. I got Alex George. Was gonna had a little bit of wheel spin coming out of the chicane. Doesn't improve his lap time, unfortunately. That's the end for him there. We're gonna take an eye on Kushi here. Who's just about getting to the chicane, and it's gonna end the qualifyings with that lap here. Currently sitting at a 155, and no, he goes in the pits. So, ladies and gents, we got Nathan Doan as a P1 with 148.4 as your pole position, and we'll start the race at the front. Technic speed is P2, Cole Cummins P3, so we've got both Red Bulls sitting 2 and 3. Barney Goldmere's P4, and we've got both Aston Martins 5 and 6. Corrupt and Roberto. It's gonna be very interesting looking at both Red Bulls and the Aston Martins, how they're gonna be sitting there, how their race is start is gonna be going into that first corner, the legendary first corner, who's very, very tight. Definitely, normally we have some contact on that first corner. Gotta be careful with your teammates out there. Alex Zort P7, Leaf Saves P8, Marino P9, and a Haas of Gibbs in P10. So that's your top 10. We're gonna go out for short intermission before the race starts. See you in just a minute. Alright, and we are back just towards the midway through their formation lap. Already having a disqualification here. Leaf Saves, who might have just had a tap-in with another driver. Or didn't launch off the race start and is disqualified, so he's going to start up on cold tires. While they roll up through Sector 3, Freddie, how do you think the drivers are going to go in regards to pit strategies? We're looking at a one-stopper, a two-stopper. Which tires are the best for you?
Honestly, hard. Not joking. It can't be hard. I mean, if you're obviously if you're on a soft or medium, it's going to be a one-stop, but I'd say softs have to go around 8 laps, roughly, probably 9 max. And then mediums has to be like around 13 to 14 laps, I'd say, on the mediums. So, yeah, nothing really too enjoyable enough, if that's even a word. But yeah, we're now all just finishing off the formation lap. Quite a long formation lap than I thought it would have been.
Definitely, please take note here. We got Zenith, Enjoy, and Cooler Peter. 3 drivers who opted for the 3 only drivers who opted for the medium tires to start this race. Tire management is going to be key in this race, given the one stopper. We gotta stretch out those soft tires. Gotta keep the temperatures all good. Everyone's lining up towards on their grid spots here. Race is about to begin. And here we go. We have the 5 lights, 5 reds. And the lights are out, and away we go. The race begins right now. We've got a great start off from Nathan Doan on the first corner. He's going to come off of clean. Both Red Bulls, Technic Speed, and just followed closely by Cole Cummins. So far, a really great start of the race. We've got really no contacts here. A couple drivers going wide. And up Eau Rouge, and it's all tight and compact. Everyone's following each other really closely here. Looks like we've got Accounts. Accounts is trying to make a move, going down on the inside of the Mercedes here. He's going to try maybe for late braking out on the inside, and just misses out on the Mercedes. Lisays, who's now up, who's lost positions with the slow start most probably, but is gained up on Drip, and Cooler Peter, who's gained on OG as well on the medium tires. I absolutely love seeing this. The whole pack has been following each other. A lot of action, a lot of overtakes. Got Red Bull going a little bit wide here. Got to be careful on this track not to go too wide and cause yourself some time penalties here, which is easier to do than it seems. It's just barely cross the white line there going on the curbs, and I get Ethan Patel all over the rear of the Alpine here, fighting for P1. Hasn't really touched his ERS yet so far. And it's definitely getting up the slipstream and going up to the bus stop here. Followed closely with Cole Cummins behind, coming up to the chicane, and that'll be lap 1 that'll be done here. Clean through the chicane. We've got a contact in the back, and what is this? This is Leafsays, who's looks like he's lost control. Was there a contact with the driver before getting to the chicane? Looks
No,
like
there weren't. We might have a bit of damage.
So he
no,
looks like he's
just hot
continuing.
tires.
Yeah, so definitely hot tires. Looks like he spun out.
Yeah.
Maybe caught some dirty air and lost it.
Yeah, I was just watching the whole lap from Leafsays and having a really bad start, hitting Berto at before sector 1 as that drip that's actually spun it already.
Oh, and he's missing his entire wing right there. He's got a long lap to do without a wing. That's going to cost him a lot of time, plus a penalty.
Yeah, Leafsays and drip was actually going at it for like 2 sectors through the first lap. But then I think Leaf might have had a little bit of dirty air, and while he was turning left on the sector 3, the long straight, I think he just got on a curb and just lost his car and just nearly hit it in the wall.
So far, looking at drivers was gained. We were looking at accounts, and the Williams was gained 4 positions. Cushy has also earned 4 positions. Biggest winner out there, sitting in P10 currently, it's Keisler.
Barnsley. Yeah, Josh Barnsley.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's definitely got the pace to be up there, and it's been a tremendous start for him at the moment. Hopefully his game doesn't bug out like the last 2 races, and hopefully he can maybe score some good points.
He's in a great position to do so. And we've got, look at this train, and there's not a lot of, there's nobody that's actually running away with this this race so far. Nathan Doan is very closely followed by Technic Speed, Corrupt, Cole Cummins. He's getting a little bit going out of that corner, and he knows he's got to floor it as much as possible to get that 1 second away from Ethan Patel, but he's going to get the DRS, so there you're going to see him empty out his whole ERS there. Technic Speed is also following him closely. Going to try to see if he can catch up to him. I don't think he's going to be close enough to do so, but just give him a couple more laps, and unless Nathan gets to get past a full second behind in front of Ethan Patel, that Red Bull's definitely got a good position to catch up to him, having that DRS. If he does, however, if he does get the 1 second past him in more than a second, Ethan could be in red hot water, because you got Corrupt and Cole Cummins right up behind him, just waiting for the opportunity to be able to get past him.
Yeah, I mean, Ethan nearly loses it through that tricky left-hand corner. Nathan looks like he actually gains time through sector 2, then the straight, so maybe he's running a higher downforce kind of setup than Ethan.
So far, oh, that's gonna hurt him. Ethan with a 3 second penalty so early in the race. You've got to keep it on the track. It is so important here. And these penalties hurt you so much, because when you cut the corners, even the slightest, you don't really gain that much time at all. But when they slap through that 3 second, it definitely hurts. He's gonna have DRS out on the start-finish line, and you got Corrupt who's just right up the sides of him. Is he gonna go for it on the outside on the turn number 1 here? Look at him go wheel to wheel, and it's tight. Ethan's trying to push him up on wide, and Corrupt seems to make it out of there, and he takes P2. Now he's got to want to take a run at Nathan. Does he have the DRS? He seems to not have dropped more than a second through that battle. Not the lap that Ethan Speed wants to get. He just got a penalty, and he just dropped to 3rd. And now he's got an Aston Martin who's right up on P2 in front of him. What a great pass. What a great wheel-to-wheel battle by Corrupt.
Honestly, OG's actually retired. His AI was driving, so maybe he was disqualified. Maybe I can quickly pull him in the broadcast chat and just maybe get his brief of what happened.
Definitely have to look at it. And I was looking to see Drip to see if he would drive past OG. Drip, once again, doesn't have a front wing, and he's on hard tires. So, lesson to be learned, everybody. If you go onto hard tires, they don't warm up that quickly on this track. not the tires to be used. We gotta keep on soft and mediums unless you're really looking to go on a long run. Jips is learning that lesson the hardest way possible. Lap 4, and he's looking to potentially getting lapped already. Coming up to this chicane once again, we got Corrupt. He's crawling all over Nathan's gearbox over here. And Nathan's not giving up on him either. He's definitely up there. Cole Cummins, Barney Goatmere. Such a tight pack fighting for P1 here. Nathan's done a tremendous job on keeping his pace and keeping his mistakes to the minimum. While we can see in the back, we had a Mercedes of Barney Goatmere who tried to make a move on Cole Cummins, and it's not fully worked yet.
Boto's actually retired. And the Cooler Peter's spun. What is going on?
There's a lot of spuns, and I think Roberto also is, the other Aston Martin is also just dropped out. Something that I missed here, as Counts in P6 tries for a move on Barney Goatmere, and will he succeed in doing so? And he does, and we have a sprinter. That looks like it was Barney. It is Barney the Goatmere that looks like he spun out. I didn't see if there was a contact on the onboard here with Accounts. It looks like he got pushed wide a little bit.
He's got wing damage.
And he does have wing damage. Got a has
stuck towards him. Yeah, really unlucky for Barney. Looks like he's got too much pressure on his hands right now. In the Merc car, I mean, he did a fantastic job in Aston. The last like 4 races last season, but it looks like since Rivas has picked him up, he's just not been himself.
Or can we call this a Rivas curse?
We can call this a Rivas curse.
It's definitely a Rivas curse. Speaking of curse, I don't want to curse do the broadcaster's curse here, but Kaiserly here, or Josh Barnsley's P8 so far. He's gained 9 positions, pulling himself into points for the Ferraris. Doing a great job and gaining, and he's all over. And we have a Red Bull, and what has happened? I miss that, and that is Corrupt and Ethan Patel, who both seems to have spin out. Corrupt went into the pits. He's got damage. He went into the pits. Does Ethan also have some damage? His wing looks okay there.
So his wing looks fine. Corrupt is actually fine. He's actually got no wing damage. So he's lucky there. But Josh Barnes is actually retired.
What?
And,
oh, he's missing his wheel. He
retired.
lost it going up on a Rouge. And Technospeed also has. And now there's a safety car. You look away or you blink for half a second, ladies and gents, and that's what happens. We're looking at 2 cars that DNF'd going up Eau Rouge. Was there contact? Is that tires are either overheated or just getting used up at lap 6? You know, those soft tires really degrade kind of quickly at some point. And we have potential race winners. At least 3 potential race winners out of this session, out of this race, and we got a full safety car. And I think the one person who's definitely won out through this whole situation is Accounts, who's Linda Williams now P2. Cole Cummins has kept his P3, and we're looking at Cushy in P4 now. It's the 8 gains, and Joyer and Big Alibro both gained 10 positions each, are now respectively 8th and 10th. So a lot of new drivers in the top 10 who did not start in the race in the top 10, and a lot of drivers who we thought they could be out there battling for the win are either out of the race or have definitely dropped. And I'm looking at Corrupt, I'm looking at Barney, Leaf Saves who's also dropped 7 positions. Those are all drivers that have a lot of potential there, but being at lap 6 and a safety car, well, now I'm curious to see what the strategies are going to be. We're seeing a lot of people dipping into the pits right now. Looks like it's gonna be an early pit stop. I would assume for the mediums they're gonna go for. What do you think, Raz?
Yeah, it has to be the mediums. Can't be anything else. But it's gonna be really interesting as the medium runners stay out, as we're gonna pit. So they're not. I mean, I don't think the safety car hasn't really helped them. So that's gonna suck for them a lot. So. Yeah, so Nathan might actually catch straight back on them straight away, but I've noticed that Williams, A. Coops, I couldn't say his name last night, but he's actually gone through the same strategy as he did last night. So, and it worked off at the end of the race, but I think he got P4 last night, so this could happen again.
Yeah, I've been calling my counts all day. I'm adding an end to his name that's not there, but interestingly enough, he's going on the hards. He's gonna have to work super hard to keep those hards at an optimal temperature in order to be able to not lose out when the safety car goes back in and the race resumes. Zenith and Enjoyer are 6-lap-olds mediums, and they were initially on medium tires. Do you think they went on that strategy suspecting that a safety car would probably happen within the first 10 laps?
No, I don't, well, to be fair, I don't even know anymore. I mean, there could be another safety car happening, all we know. But yeah, it's quite a tough call, I think.
So far, we're only looking at a single driver in the hards and a sea of medium tires. So at this point, you're trying to make the mediums last all the way till the end. Needless to say, the tires, I mean, till the end of the race, they are going to be red hot. And what do you say? Probably around the 50-60% mark until the end of the race? What do you think?
Yeah, the tide will be around the 60% mark at the end of the race for the mediums. So they're going to be struggling for the last 3 or 4 laps, yeah. I'd say.
Yeah, we could definitely. I would definitely predict that. I think the last couple laps, we're going to see maybe a spin or two that might be unexpected, because those mediums, once they get really used up, they get slippery as heck, and especially over here in the chicane. When you come out of the chicane, you got to be careful on your throttle and really be gentle about it. As you've probably just seen on the screen on the pop-up drip, all the way in the back, trying to catch up to the grid, and oh, Zenith just binned it. Zenith is trying to put heat in his tires, went straight into the wall. That's corner 1, and that is the worst possible way you want to go out of a race behind a safety car. Is this Nicholas Latifi?
I mean, I wish I can say that, but yeah, really disappointing night for both AlphaTauri and OG himself, being the team principal himself, so he's going to be crying himself to sleep tonight. But yeah, I mean, anyone can actually win the race now. As yeah, Marino's actually still up there. Kushi can win. Cole has to do a job for Red Bull, as he's actually the only Honda power car out there. So maybe score some points for Honda gang. Nathan's up there on the fresh mediums, and he's going to be gaining a lot of time from the hards of Akutes. So Nathan is a potential race winner if he keeps it clean, nice and clean. And if there's another safety car coming involved, Enjoyer is also another one that could potentially be up on the podiums.
Most definitely, and if you look at the standings right now, you kind of feel bad for Drip for being all the way back there, but so far he's P15. I mean, if he's just able to go all the way through this race, he's definitely gonna go crawl and get a couple points for the AlphaTauri team. Meanwhile, we have a bunch of other drivers who's DNF'd. Already in 8 laps, we've got 5 drivers who've DNF'd. And once, as I said earlier, a bunch of drivers that we thought definitely were podium ready and just about to be up there. Is the safety car going another lap, or is this lap in? I'm wondering if it's going to go in or if it's going to...
because I can't do another lap.
Yeah.
Did we miss it? Because it looks like Enjoy's actually just waiting. I think it's going in.
Yeah, it's going in. Enjoy's slowing down. It looks like he's gonna...
Oh, actually...
Is it?
Oh, it's staying out.
No, it's staying out. It's staying out. I think it was by waiting for Drip to catch up to the pack. It's definitely waiting for the rest of the drivers. So, I mean,
it's quite annoying,
this whole thing, definitely, the drivers gotta spent a long time keeping those tires warm, and Drip suddenly went from basically being overlapped to being behind Barney Goatmere. So here we go, a final lap of safety car and starting lap 10. Unless Codemasters does Codemaster things, as we've seen many times throughout the last year, we should be back into racing, and we're going to find out. Will Enjoyer be able to fight off Nathan Doan? Because Nathan's got fresh mediums on him. Will Accounts be able to keep his position? I don't think he's going to gain. Will he be able to keep his position on the hard tires?
Something's happened with the back markers with leave saves, Barney and Drip.
We've got 3 drivers who backed out, definitely.
I don't actually know what happened there, but if I was correct, leave saves was ahead of Barney.
Sorry about that short moment.
Leave saves has actually got a penalty, a 3-second penalty, so that must just be for track warnings. Nothing for incidents during the safety car. So
if we're looking at the penalties so far, so Leaf says 3-second and Drip for a 6-second. So maybe one of the drivers looks like they went off. I mean, Barney's definitely gained a position on Leaf says, so I'm thinking Leaf says may have gone off a little bit, keeping his tires warm, and Barney and Drip probably slow down behind him. But here we go, we've got Barney that overtook Leaf says in that regards.
Safety car does come in this lap.
So safety car in this lap. And back into racing in just a little while. And Jory's already keeping the pace kind of slow, making sure that the safety car goes in and gives him plenty of time to control the race pace.
I wonder if Enjoy is going to go at the last corner, and it looks like
he's about to launch it. Yeah, he's definitely. Oh, he's keeping it slow. He's slowing down the whole pack. Everyone's expecting him to go, and there he goes, trying to get the jump on, and
doesn't really work.
Nathan got up, and Cole Cummins is taking over on the Williams. The Williams was caught back a little bit. And Nathan has had a better first corner through Enjoyer, and here he goes, back on P1, just like he was the entirety of the race. There's no DRS so far, so Enjoyer cannot get back on him, and that's by using his entire DRS and getting a little bit of slipstream. He's going to try for it, going out on the outside, wheel to wheel, and Nathan is able to keep it out, keep away from him, and Enjoyer stays P2. Cole Cummins P3 and Accounts P4. We've got the McLaren of Marino, who's gained a lot of positions so far in this race. And he's crawling all over Accounts and trying to get that position back. Accounts it's going to take him a couple laps maybe to get the tire temperatures up as he wants them to be. So Marino's gained 4 positions so far. We've got Cooler Peter with 10 positions gained. Obviously, Enjoyer probably is going to have to pit eventually on his tires that are, I mean, now 10 lap olds, but he's gained 16 positions. He had started P18, and what do we have? We have Drip in the back of the pack who's just dropped out.
There's a Haas that's actually spun around.
And then a Haas that's
wheel to wheel with a Corrupt, and he actually went over the curb, which made him spin. So. And wait, there's a safety car.
And another safety car. There's for damage. There's no cars that are.
Oh, guess who it was? Drip.
Yes.
So that's really unlucky for him.
Yep. Drip had the case of the spins. Pretty sure that AlphaTauri at this point they're gonna be auctioning off front bumper parts because Drip is leaving the bumpers all over the place around the track. So if you want a free bumper, call Drip.
Leave says he's going on fresh sauce.
Interestingly enough, are we thinking there's going to be so many safety cars that it'll be basically two-stopper?
To be fair, it wasn't actually a bad call, I don't think. He's going to get some extra fresh tyre wear through the people ahead of him, so... And he's not going to lose any positions, or he's not going to gain any positions, so that's actually well done for him.
He's actually on mediums. There's a cooler Peter who came out on soft tires. So is that what they are expecting? That by the time the safety car goes back in, which is 2 to 3 laps, and you could just run the softs until the end? I'm thinking they're going to drop and lose a lot of their grip until the end of the race, even if there was another safety car. A little bit of a gamble with Cooler Peter there with the soft tires. He's the only soft tire user in the pack. Everyone else has got medium, so the exception of accounts was on the 3-lap-olds hards. And once again, speaking of accounts, he's gonna have to work on those hards and keep him up to temperatures. Meanwhile, we got Enjoy on 10-lap-olds. I'm curious to see. Maybe he's thinking about pitting again, or is he gonna try to really stretch it out?
Enjoyer has to pit, obviously. Yeah, he does have to pit, doesn't he, as he's on 10 laps. But yeah, the cooler Peter actually might have to pit again, because he's on the soft, ain't he? So I wouldn't expect. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can do it for 10 laps, but you've got to. I mean, it's puncture territory. As the safety car's actually going out for another lap for some reason.
Yep.
I don't really know why. It's just, I mean, this is planning. This is going in the hands of Akutes right now.
Most definitely. He's going to be able to make those hard tires go all the way till the end. That is for sure. Unless he sustains some damage, he will not need to pit, and he'll go all the way until the end. Now we got Enjoyer, who officially is going to end up dead last because he's going to go for the next set of tires, and he went for the softs. He's coming out of the pits right now. So he's going to try to make the softs go for, what do you say, another 8-9 laps until the end of the race if everything goes as planned, which so far nothing has gone as planned in this race. So definitely got to keep an eye out on things. I must say, if you're looking at it, different drivers was getting a lot of gains. We've talked a lot about accounts, Marino and Kushi. In the top 10, we've got Snoop Francis out there and Williams, so it puts Williams in a good position so far with a 3rd and 8th position in regard to points. And Big Alabro, who's going to try to save the honor there for the Ferraris, as Kaiser was absolutely a rocket ship out there until he DNF'd. So Big Alabro as a reserve driver is going to see if he's got some in him and be able to gain some positions out there. So far he's gained 11 positions, putting up in P9.
Yeah, I'm getting some confirmation that the softs are going to be so bad at the end. So I don't think Enjoy and the Cooler Peter will actually last by probably last lap of the race. So it's going to suck for them.
Yep. This safety car, this double safety car, especially the second one. The first safety car was perfect for Enjoyer for his strategy, but now it's a killer for his race. I would have not gone with another pair of softs. I think I would have stretched out those mediums a little bit and hoped for maybe a 3rd safety car once I go in for the softs, but that's really, really hard to judge and say at this point in time. And you got to make that split-second decision sometimes just as the safety car happens. When it happened, when the safety car came out, a lot of the drivers were just at the chicane. Some of them got to take advantage, some of them didn't. And now we're looking at Nathan, who's just about to relaunch the race. The safety car is in. Cole Cummins right behind him, and the Celts following him through, and
Oh, that's going to be such a bad start for Cole.
I was. Cole went side to side and almost went past him. And now he's dropping. Nathan stays P1 and accounts on the hard tires. Takes advantage of that. Takes P2. And Cole's going to try to salvage a little mistake he made. Stays P3, and Marino's not so far behind him. We've got Kushi, who's fighting to maybe get past Marino, and right behind him we've got Corrupt and the Mercedes. And that's going to be a tight pack, but they decide to not go wheel to wheel and really make it a safe corner there, because that could have, there's been a couple contacts around those corners already. That midfield is definitely tight pack currently. But Snoop is just trailing a little bit on P8. And Nathan is, because I would assume Accounts is on the hard tires behind him, he is pulling away. He's already 7/10 up. He's going to be potentially, if he continues to gain like that, he might be able to get out of the DRS range before DRS is re-enabled.
Yeah, there's quite a good battle going on in the midfield where Barney and Gibbs are. They just went side by side, I'm pretty sure, through sector 2, so quite good battling there as Barney actually got the position over Gibbs. As Gibbs is actually getting overtaken by his teammate.
Oh, we got the two Haas right up against each other. Two Haas looking to make their first points of the season, but at the same time they're racing, and oh, so close to a contact from Gibbs on the Cooler Peter. I think he could smell the gearbox burning right behind him, and a McLaren of an Enjoyer and Drip. Was there a contact? It didn't look like it. It looked like Enjoyer spun off on his own, and now Enjoyer on the soft tires ends up spinning out. That race was going so well for him and has gone from bad to worse since that second safety car. They say he's gets a 3-second time penalty and retires from the session. Is this going to be another safety car? It is. Leaf says lost it going up in Eau Rouge, it looks like. And we're looking at another safety car. So out of the 14 laps we've raced, we've got 3 safety cars. What do we have? Around 6 laps of actual racing so far?
Yeah, we've got another 8 laps left. I think the strategy is to pit for the softs. Because they didn't really use any softs, did they, in quali? So they're going to have fresh softs.
Most definitely. It's going to be dive into pits for everybody, and it's going to be a race for the pits. However, they're going to have to do an alternate strategies for some teammates here, because if I'm looking, I'm definitely looking at the two Haas who are P11 and P12. One of them is going to have to dip in the pits before the other. Otherwise, they're just going to be wasting a lot of time in the pits. Cooler Peter might not. I don't know if Cooler Peter is going to pit in. I would suggest he will, even though he's got only 2-lap-old softs. If you're Enjoyer, are you trying to go for it all the way till the end of the race with those 1-lap-old softs? Try to gain positions to the safety car? What would you do?
I don't know. I think everyone's got to pit, even people not on mediums. As Nathan stays out, is everyone really going to stay out?
Surprisingly, yeah, a lot of people ain't going to stay out. I was expecting accounts to stay out with the hard tires. We got, am I seeing both Mercedes in the pits? So Alex is in the pits, so that means he's going to hold up Barney Gormia right behind him, who actually wasn't so bad. So Barney gets to go on the softs as well. And Enjoyer also has gone in the pits for fresh softs. Gibbs went into the softs as well. So we've got the rear pack, the last 5 drivers all went up for the softs. Alex, Gibbs, Barney, Enjoyer, and Drip. Yet the front of the pack is staying on the mediums or on the hards. One would wonder, are they going to think about pitting this lap, given that they'll have one lap less to keep those softs up to temp. I'm not sure they're going to want to pit right now. They're going to take the mediums all the way till the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really hard for the people on the mediums and even the hards, as Alex, Gibbs, Barney, Enjoy and Drip have fresh softs. But then Cooler Peter might be able to hold him up a little bit with those a little bit more tyre wear than them. But I think if we're going to have another lap of safety car, then it's absolute ropes for people on the mediums.
They should. You would expect them to go in. And that would technically fall into the hands of Vical's strategy with the hard tires. He could, or will it not? It really will depend on him, because following a safety car, he could find himself in a sea of drivers with soft tires and having way more pace than him in the corners. It's kind of like a double-edged sword in this his situation. You gotta think about it. Do I pit? Do I not pit? Do I trust my racing skills, or do I go for their strategy?
So the safety car's coming out for another lap,
Yep.
which is literally... It's getting frustrating now, 3 safety cars.
3 safety cars, 9 laps overall out on the safety car.
That's more than half our laps. That's more than half of our laps that we've done. So...
And we're seeing no drivers go back in the pit. So, I mean, safety cars, most probably as we expected in this lap. And we're going to see every driver right now on their current tire strategies are going to stay on their strategies. Most probably until the end. Unless there's another safety car. And this race, out of 16 driven laps, we've got more than half of it that was done on their safety car. And as we near the end of the race, you can expect the drivers to maybe get a little bit more patient, a little bit more pushy. As you said, a lot of safety cars, the drivers just want to get going. They want to get back into their bubble, get back into the zone, get back into racing. If they stay out in the safety car for so long, very minor distractions going to happen. We've seen Zenith during the safety car absolutely crush his car into the barriers in the first corner. So, is this really going to be the last safety car of the race? Let me doubt it. Very curious to see what's going to happen till the end of the race. We're going to see drivers really going to try to be much more aggressive than they usually are. And is that going to cause them to go a little bit out of their league and cause some more incidents out on the track?
If we have another safety car, I'm literally turning my PC off just to go to bed. So I hate when safety cars are out. Even though I'm driving in D2, just whenever a safety car happens, it's just like, you've got to like stay in this annoying piece of poop. It's just frustrating, I guess.
Pretty sure that your frustration is going to be felt throughout the drivers out here. So, safety car in this lap. Once again, Nathan's got to prep everybody for the tires, for the race. Gonna launch it up again. He's definitely taking his time slowing down. Last time he was a lot closer to the safety car. Now he's really letting the safety car gain some distance, so I'm wondering if he's going to change his strategy or if he's going to do what he did last time, which was floor it right out of the chicane and trying to gain his time right there. This time he's got accounts right behind him, Moreno P3, Cole Cummins P4, and Cushy P5. We had Cummins, Cushy, and Correct having great racing there in the back, so keep an eye on them too. And off we go, and Nathan once again for the final 6 laps. Send it out again, clean through the first corner again. Everyone's just following, and we got Big Alabro, who had a little bit of a moment and lost 2 positions to Cooler Peter and Alex Zora. Drops back down to P10. And we got some fresh soft tire users, so they could crawl out from the back of the pack and get back up into this. On the straight, we have Nathan who's gained nearly 8/10 up on accounts, and accounts was gotta fight off Marino, and Marino has been behind him for a while now, with the fresher mediums compared to the hards. Sector 2 is not an easy sector to overtake, and it definitely gives a lot of wheel-to-wheel battles here. Right behind Marino, what do we got? We got Cummins, who's chased down by Kushi and is trying to gain on him and corrupt. Cooler Peter's just slightly off the pace from the other guys. Snoop, Alex Drought, and we got Barney, who's gained positions. An Enjoyer and Big Alabro also had another moment. And so the Ferrari that we saw would being P8 or P9 when the race restarted, he's now dropped down to P13, and he's got 9-lap-old mediums, and he's losing it to a bunch of drivers who are on softs. Back up front, we got Nathan, who's doing a great job on keeping everybody away. Counts has gained 3/10 up on him throughout the whole straight area here. Marino's battling like for that second position. And Marino knows it. If he's able to get to past the P2, he knows all he's got to do is get past that one driver up in front of him, which would be Nathan. He wants to go for that win. Big Alabro, another moment, I think, at the chicane. Lost out completely, and he's got 4 laps to go. He's got to keep it on track. He's struggling a little bit. He's actually conceded a position to drip. And it looks like we have a moment with Haas, and Gibbs is out of the race.
Yeah, Gibbs actually binned it in Eau Rouge. Like, not the first time we've seen it for tonight's race. But I think Alex illegal overtaked him, and he had to give the position back, and I don't think Gibbs was expecting it. So he actually, I think he was maybe a bit not concentrating on what was going on in front of him, and just didn't see Eau Rouge and do that twisty right and left corner. Just binned it.
Surprisingly, not another safety car. In normal circumstances, we would expect to see a safety car go out on this on this other DNF. So far, we've only got 13 drivers left to end the race here. And Marino has actually gone past for the P2 on accounts, and actually got ways ahead of him. And now Cole Cummins is looking at a driver with hard tires, and definitely looking to make some ground here. You could tell by the braking distance, the hard tires taking up a lot of braking distance more, and we got DRS enabled as well. And Marino, as I mentioned earlier, once he got past the counts, is looking for P1. Now this is a man who's definitely looking to get as close as Nathan as possible. You see him hitting the ERS. They both have similar ERS percentages up there. And Marino's got the DRS. Is he gonna go? Oh, slight moment, and he loses it, and he's out of the race.
He's out. Wow.
Marino completely loses it. He's had a slight swivel and the safety car in the race. My goodness, is the race gonna end on the safety car? Not only did Marino lose it, we have Snoop Francis as well. That's absolutely gone. A lot of cars, a lot of drivers not making it until the end of the race. And Marino had the lead right there. He had it. He could grasp it. He could smell it. He could taste it. Had a bit of a moment. I know Nathan kind of moved a little bit, and I don't know if Marino overcorrected or if there was contact or anything, but loses it on the straight and completely bends it. Oh, that's not a way you want to end the race on this kind of race. There's only a couple laps left. Really curious to see how he's gonna react to that. I don't know if there's a way to get his reaction or some understanding about the situation, but here we go. Lap 19, another safety car. This is the 4th safety car we've had so far. We've raced already a full 9 laps under safety car out of 22, so we're gonna go for another final. I'm expecting the safety car to go in probably at the end of lap 20. And we'll have maybe 1 or 2 laps left at the end of the race for a sprint, and You could expect another DNF. When there's a sprint race like that at the end, you know the driver is going to go all out even more.
Everyone's going to stay out. But
Yeah,
this is I mean, as Revis might say, this is a bit of a shit show.
I would tend to agree, absolutely. Don't expect these kind of moments.
Crashing, ain't it?
You see drivers wanting to go fast, wanting to get, and as a D1 driver, you know when you're so close up front and you know you're having a potential race win under you and you really want to go for it, and sometimes it's just the smallest mistakes, the slightest things that just knocks you off your game. You really have, it's about race pace and race technicalities, but there's really the whole mental about it, of being able to stay focused and not get distracted by the little things around you or anything in the game, whether it be things around you in real life or the game itself, just keeping on your game. And sometimes it's just those simple things like that that could differentiate a D3 from a D2 driver or D2 and D1 driver, as we were clearly seeing throughout the league so far, because the different divisions are so tied up close to each other. I'm taking the moment, I think was last week or two weeks ago, raced in D1, and there was maybe a second between the top 15 drivers. How tight it was. You gained 300s and you gained 4 positions, and it was really tight racing. So sometimes it's just the smallest of things that really separates the drivers.
Absolutely, as I think the contender for the win now is going to be Akut. I think the only chance is, if he's going to win, is he gets a really good start. Oh, safety car actually comes in this lap, so that's not going to help Nathan at all.
We're going to have a full 2 laps of racing, as I predicted. We're going to lap 20, so yeah. 2-lapper sprinter.
20.
Alright, Raz, you got $2. You're putting your $2 on accounts?
I don't really know, because this could go anyone's way right now. And I think Cooler Peter might even be up in the podiums at the end of a race. I think he might nick it off Cole.
He might possibly. I'm actually going to put my $2 on Cole Cummins. I'm thinking Nathan and Council can have a little bit of a battle, and Cummins might just swoop in and gain from that. And off we go back into racing. So we got the final 2 laps. Nathan Doan in the chat. Who's going to win the race? We got 2 laps to go. Nathan, who's got a great start off and 8/10 up on the counts, going up au rouge. Out there, everyone's dumping and emptying all they got in regards to their ERS, and we've got a Merc who's damaged his wing on turn 1. Was it a contact with another driver or something else? And that effectively ends the race for Bartney Goatmere, who was way up there in the race in the beginning, and he's going to be now most probably ending the race P11 unless there's other DNFs. Counts is trying to crawl back on Nathan Doan here in Sector 2. He's got about 5/10 to go catch up to him, and Cole is not far behind. Keeping an eye on Cooler Peter, who's currently P5 with those soft tires. 9-lap-old soft tires. A lot of those laps were done on their safety car. And we've got Cole and Corrupt, they went wheel to wheel and they're fighting for it, and Corrupt is all over him right now, and Cole is fighting, and there's a contact with Corrupt, and there he goes off the track, and Cole also had contact. He hit the wall. I don't know if he's got damage. Corrupt's completely spun out. He's dropped down to P10. Cole seemed to close the door on him and really had no more gap, and Corrupt had nowhere to go.
Yeah, I think Cole's got a little bit of damage. I can tell by the way he's...
Wow! Synchronized spin from Enjoyer and Cooler Peter. Was that planned?
Honestly, I don't even know anymore. Like, this race is just a shambles. I've really just wasted nearly 2 hours of my life just watching this. It's absolutely incredible what we're seeing right here.
Meanwhile, up front, we got Accounts and Doan, and Accounts has a little bit more ERS. They're dumping it. Accounts is trying to get back, and this is the final race, finals lap of the race. So far, we got Nathan P1, Accounts fighting up behind him in P2. Cole, who I don't think is going to be able to make it up there to he's going to stay P3. Got a very last battle, and I've got to watch this one. Alex Duarte, P5, with fresher soft tires than Kushi on P4, and you could tell he's just waiting to pounce on him, probably on the back straight. And I've got to say, I've definitely got to say this. As you mentioned, the word shit show, but throughout all this, look who is P6. This man, with his penalties, was probably going to drop to P7, if we're honest.
Even more.
Yeah, most definitely, but is still there at the end of the race. He's dropped his front wing about 4 different times throughout the race.
Sorry to interrupt, John, but Akutz is actually on the back of Nathan.
All over the back of him, going in onto the chicane. Oh, look at Nathan, who completely blocks him off from that, and that's going to be a win. Oh, just a last-minute drag for him to win for Nathan Doan. Accounts P2. Kushi defended successfully against Alex Duarte, was all over him. So Cole Cummins P3, Kushi P4, Alex Duarte P5, and Joyer P6. Big Alibro, who gained some positions during this race, finishes P7, effectively because of the drip, finishing P9 due to his penalties. Corrupt P8. Cooler Peter and Bartney P10 and P11. So many safety cars, so many spins, a couple contacts. A wild, wild, wild race, absolutely. Driver of the day, being Enjoyer, definitely gained a lot of positions throughout his race. Wow. I must say, wow is what a race. However you want to see it, whether it be positive or negative, whether you like safety cars or not, the synchronized spins, the crashes, the Eau Rouge has been collecting a lot of drivers this race. And coming up in just under an hour, we're going to have Division 2 as well.
Yep, we've got to do the interviews first.
Definitely.
We are not going to pull a Lee Hall back in Brazil, so we're going to get
definitely
Cole
going for the...
yeah, we'll get Cole in now.
In front of you? Okay. What's up, dudes?
Cole, congratulations on your P3. Just go through a race. What do you think?
That race was so shit, dude. So many safety cars. God, I hated it. It was like, I was just sitting there like, wanting to drink water and want to go cook some chicken the whole time.
Oh, I mean,
it's okay, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you showed the pace definitely throughout the race. Although we did have 50% of the race in the behind the safety car.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, crazy action going on. There's not much to talk about, but I mean, what happened to Ethan when he DNF'd? Do you know anything about that?
I think he just lost it on one corner and then went into the wall, unfortunately.
Anything you got to say, John?
Definitely, Cole. Congratulations on your P3. You've actually started on the grid in P3, and no gains, no losses in this race. Are you taking that as a win or a loss in your situation where you're looking to gain and possibly go for a race win, but given such a wild race, you end up P3, it's exactly where you started?
Honestly, huge loss. I think I outpaced everybody with like raw pace, but I just like made so many mistakes. I don't know if you guys saw in the safety car restart, I thought Nathan spun out because I looked at the corner of my eye, but he actually just pulling left and going slow for the restart, and I made a mistake, and that could have been a lot different if I hadn't done that.
Yeah, we lose a couple positions through that. So congratulations on your position. That's still P3 for you and collecting quite a good number of points for Red Bull. So congrats on that great race and not being on the side of the bunch of the racers who actually DNF'd.
Yeah, thanks guys.
See you soon.
So I'm going to put in Nathan in now. Okay, Nathan, congratulations. on your P1. I don't sound excited because I've got to be quiet right now. But yeah, congratulations. Explain your race.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, hello to my family who's watching this. And so the race, it was very straightforward. Obviously, a lot of safety cars, so I knew I had to keep calm, you know, defend the position, and yeah, that's it. Just keep calm, win.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely showed that you kept calm, but did you have any like struggles during the race with like using your dry setup? Although we did have a wet quali, did you expect going on pole?
Well, from the start of quali, I saw that it was gonna rain, so I knew that I had to get a very fast out lap and be the first one to put in a lap, and that would put me on pole. So yeah.
Nathan,
Anything else
as
you
you
wanna
had
say,
to,
John?
yeah, absolutely, Nathan, as you had to restart the race a couple times from all those safety cars, were you trying a different couple strategies out there? We just had Cole speaking about how he thought you had a spin starting the race, but instead you went way wide on the left and slowed down, and that caught him off guard. You actually caused him to make a mistake and lose position. So were you trying different strategies? Was that all calculated, or were you just simply trying to get the best start as possible and not lose any positions?
If I'm being honest, that was a complete mistake by me. I almost spun it on the restart, but then Cole went ahead of me, and I figured that it would play into my hands.
And how was it racing? Most of your race, you didn't really get to pull away more than a second away from a racer, and you were never given the chance to do so because of the safety cars. So how do you do a whole 22 lap race with somebody always right up there on your rear? Is that do you have the nerves of steels, or is that starting to get up to you near the end of the race?
Well, as I said, the reason I wasn't like too far ahead of everyone is because I was just trying to keep a calm head. I was in the lead and I tried to keep it that way.
Most definitely. Nathan, congratulations on your race win in here in Division 3. Great racing throughout the whole race. We'll see you soon.
Yep, thank you, mate.
Get out of there. Alright, that should wrap up D3.
Most definitely, Raz. Was a pleasure describing the race here with you. Hadn't done that in over a season on my end, so thanks for giving me the opportunity to come replace Chris Hannigan, who should be back here next week. Any final words?
I mean, horrible race we just watched there. But no, I mean, obviously congratulations to Nathan being #1 Alpine. So, but no, yeah, it was a good race in a way. I mean, we did have 50% on it with a safety car, which does frustrate drivers, also the commentators, also just people watching it. As people just want to like race, like, you get what I mean?
Yep.
But yeah, no, it was fun at its most. But yeah, hopefully next week in Spain we can get a better kind of race. Absolutely.
Next week we could definitely get a better race. I'm just taking a look here real quick where the schedule of the race after
Spain.
it is Spain. It is not an easy track to do some overtakes there, so it's gonna be very interesting to see next week. But we're not moving on to Spain so quickly. We've got Division 2 coming up at 10 p.m. Eastern time, and just a little over half an hour's time. And tomorrow night is going to be Division 1 as well in Belgium. So a lot of racing still to go. We got 4 divisions, so keep tuned in and keep your eyes on the YouTube channel. Speaking of which, Zoom Racing League, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Everything league has been absolutely flourishing, I would say. A lot more new drivers coming in as we keep going. We're opening up a new esports division as well, so a lot of interesting things going on. If you want to join, you could join our Discord or leave a comment and we'll send you the link, and we'll see you soon. So on that end, Freddie, great time broadcasting with you, and I bid you farewell.